Water supply.
There is water supply.
Man, you want to make sure you have...
It's quite fascinating because if we look at how land, the property system was structured here in Mexico ever since the colonial times, there were gaps that remained sort of fuzzy to understand who owned what.
Yeah.
This, when applied to urban land, becomes problematic. I mean, whether you own this or whether someone can take it, whether you pay for the services or what. The argument that Azuela makes is that this absolute ambiguity about land tenure, even when it came to an urban policy such as the Ejido, and I'll tell you a bit a little bit about the Ejido, has created all these conflicts about informality, but also about political conflicts, such as the one the mayor was involved a few months ago. This is Colonia Pantitlán, brief parenthesis. This is the area, a little bit to the south, the area has a density of over 300 inhabitants.
Yeah, right.
You may look at it and say, well, it's not that dense.
Yeah.
It's multiple households, first of all, a lot of rentals,
Yeah.
and very high occupation, sometimes over 6 or 7 people per household.
But it's going to drive through?
Yes. Azuela makes the argument that this, for example, the Ejido policy. Look at this guy. He's just throwing with the Ejido policy. After the revolution in 1917, the Ejido was implemented as one way to devolve land to the original communities. And that policy involved rights of use but not rights of transfer. The problem is not who owns the land or how do you use the land, and the perfect example is the Church of England and the Queen of England, which own half of London. I'm exaggerating,
Yeah.
but there's a very, very clear understanding of how that you have a 99-year lease and that no one will take you away from your flat in Chelsea. In Mexico, that never happened. There was
no certainty.
There was no certainty, and in economic theory, Coase theorems of development that without certainty, there's no without certainty there's no investment. That obviously applies to Mexico. So these people, first of all, squatted on their land.
Yeah.
It was low investment until they knew they would not be evicted.
Right.
Later on, when they get a title to their land or they get some sort of de facto security, then they start investing. And much later on, you will even have an antenna by Carlos Slim for his cell phone company operating here. I mean, this sort of idea that then this becomes normal. And we're gonna get in, and you'll see that there's a lot of.
This is Nesa.
This is already the beginning of Nesa.
Nesa.
This is one of the oldest neighborhoods.
Right.
So.
I can't believe the density number. That's really amazing if you look at this.
And these are official numbers. They're not like made up. So we came to here. We came. This is Pantitlán. Pantitlán is here. So we turn around here, and then we took this street here, Sanchaca, and we're in this neighborhood. So this is not the densest. So this probably is let's say 180 inhabitants. We'll move a little bit south, and then we'll move far east, so you can get to see the newer settlements, older settlements, and then we'll move to Chimalhuacán.
And on the left is the lake.
This is a lake to the north. And this was all lake.
The white bit, sorry, is just dried lake.
It is a dried lake. Technically, it is still a lake if the infrastructural system, if the 3 canals that take the water away from the valley collapsed at the same time, this would flood in a couple of years. As you see, there's very limited vegetation because the soil, it's saline soil. So even you can see that if you look carefully in some cases, the streets and the sidewalks go like this because this is very subsidient soil. But you see in the street, the next street back there was also some security devices with a gated street. So there's again these levels of enclaves operate at the high.
The informal is formalizing.
Exactly. So this is part of the system.
When was this highway, this elevado done?
At the community level, I mean, is there a very strong structure of support and therefore patronage? Well, if this was Sicily,
there would be a couple.
There'd be a sort of familiar network where you would pay for rights, for protection, whatever. If you were in China, you would have a local Communist Party cell. And I'm not really associating with negative criminal activity.
No, the sort of social arrangements exist. They existed deeper in the 70s. I would say that they have become more democratic. Let me, if you want to. Oh, you want to.
The big one, yeah.
The systems of the social arrangements currently are a bit more democratic. So for you, in order to get support to build this addition to your house, you would not necessarily need to be in good terms with the capo or with the don of the whole neighborhood.
But is there a don?
During the 70s and 80s, all the dons, which were either developers, or on the other hand, and precisely the opposite side of the spectrum, the community groups, the community leaders, they organized protests, they organized, let's say, the grassroots movements really were the ones getting the services and the infrastructure and the permits and the help. Why has it happened? Why has it changed? Because the systems of patronage have changed. So at one point during the 70s, all these forms of social protest were co-opted by the government. It's funny if you see at the legislature.
But is there a party system which winds its way through?
During the 70s, which was a one-party system, every single developer and every single community leader became sooner or later a senator, or so that let's say the social struggles were co-opted.
Here's a one-story house going up. Got the reed bars.
This was one of the areas that's been painting in yellow in political terms. In other words, it votes left wing.
But the yellow equals left.
It's a yellow. The yellow is a color of the left.
Right.
In Mexico. But it's more diverse. It's not like if 100% of it. I don't know the exact numbers, but probably the left. The municipal president won the election maybe by 40% to 30 something. So you would still have hundreds of thousands of people voting right wing, even within this community, which I find like a sort of an indicator of the vitality or the complexity of how the neighborhood has transformed itself. And out of the grid that we have here in Nesa,
Now, the important thing for you to realize, Ricky and Philip, is that this is the image most common of Mexico.
What we're looking at now.
What you're looking at. This is the way the cities are being built. Only in the very exclusive places are things other than this happening.
okay.